Plaintiff, Shemaya Adams, has 2 kids with the defendant, and she's still in love with him. But they broke up after the defendant assaulted Shemaya when she was 6 months pregnant. Shemaya is suing her ex for personal property, the balance due on a cell phone, and a rent refund. Defendant Dwayne Prater says the only reason he's in court is because Shemaya wants to be with him, and she can't get over their breakup. Dwayne claims Shemaya tries to keep him away from his daughter, and he's countersuing because he claims she assaulted him and attacked him with mace.
Start with you.
Me and Dwayne dated for 2.5 years. We have 2 kids together. I'm in love with that man, but our relationship had to come to an end when we got into an altercation. At the time, I was 6 months pregnant. This took place in front of our 1-year-old daughter. Basically, we were arguing over something petty. I really can't even tell you really what the argument was about, but he grabbed me and threw me into the light switch and busted my head open and left me in the house 6 months pregnant, bleeding from my head in front of my daughter.
It's the first time he assaulted you?
No.
How often did he do it in the past?
Just when we would get into an argument.
How often was that? Once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year?
I'm not really for sure. It would just randomly happen.
Okay. When did this occur?
This happened in February of 2015.
All right. What else you want to tell me?
So I forgave him, and I stayed. But in March, on St. Patrick's Day, we got into another argument about him going out. And I feel like at this point in life, we got 2 kids. You should be at home wanting to be a family, not out running the streets. So I left. On Easter Sunday, I went over to our apartment to get some of my personal things. I was with my younger sister. I told her to sit in the car. After we had went into the house, we had seen his family members in my house. They began telling me how Dwayne had different girls in my house, and I felt like it was disrespectful because I'm still paying bills here. I'm still on this lease. Why would you disrespect my house that we wouldn't share with our daughter? So I started breaking our pictures of our family. So they called Dwayne. Once Dwayne got to the apartment, he walked up to my car, opened my car doors, and started to pull the things out of my car. And my sister tried to stop him, but when I walked out the apartment, he was choking my sister. My responsibility is to take care of my sister, protect my sister. But at the time, I had to think about myself because I was 8 months pregnant. So I grabbed my pepper spray and I maced Dwayne. The police was called. Nobody was arrested. The police really wasn't doing their job. They just kept yelling, "It's Easter, it's Easter, it's Easter, it's Easter." I'm like, I don't care about it being Easter. Like, he over here assaulting me and my sister. Take him to jail, but
no prosecution.
It didn't work out like that.
Let me get some background from you, sir.
She's in love with me, and she's just upset that I don't want to be with her. You know what I mean? In early 2013, I cheated on her a few times. You know what I mean? We moved past it. She just seemed like she couldn't get over it. So in March of this year, she moved out. I would beg her to see my daughter. You know what I mean? Like, I would have to beg her constantly. Then Easter, she finally allowed me to see my daughter. Not 15 minutes into the visit, my cousin was calling me, telling me that she's at the apartment, and I'm just like, she's probably grabbing a few things, it'll be nothing. Like 15 more minutes later, he calling me, telling me that she's destroying stuff in the apartment. So as soon as I get to the apartment, I call the police because she's destroying stuff in my apartment. As soon as I get up to the door, asking her what she's doing, she just starts hitting me, starts punching me, scratching me and stuff. You know what I mean? She starts spraying me with mace, trying to spit on me and everything. And then the report is made and everything. Her and her family just keep stating that I have warrants. So I get afraid and I just leave. And then the following day, I come back to the apartment. As I'm coming to the apartment, I see a cruiser with her mom and her dad in a red pickup truck. And as soon as they come up to me, they just handcuff me and put me in the back of the cruiser because they already know that I had previous warrants from yesterday. As I'm in the cruiser, I see her mom and her dad just coming out with like the stuff from the apartment. And then I went to jail.
Did you assault her?
No, man. No, sir.
Never assaulted her?
Not that.
So she made that story up?
The day that happened, she walked outside in the freezing cold with my daughter with no socks on, no nothing. So I ran outside to get my daughter. As I'm snatching my daughter back from her, I come in the house. Like, she's arguing with me. She comes towards me and my daughter as I'm holding her with a knife. I push her back. Her head hits the light switch. Then she goes to the hospital. She calls my sister to take her to the hospital. You know what I mean? I leave the situation. I just don't come back just because I don't want anything else.
You ever had a warrant for assault?
No, sir.
Ma'am, you ever been had a warrant for assault or been arrested for anything violent?
No.
All right, because His story sounds more believable, ma'am. You're the one that said you went in destroying things. You said you went into the house and began destroying things. And so you became violent. So I don't know who to believe on that. Let's get to the cell phone, the rent, and the personal property.
Dwayne didn't have a job in April, so I told him if he signed me off the lease, I would pay April's rent so he can maintain the apartment. I have text messages to prove that. I allowed him to be on my cell phone account because at the time he didn't have a phone. Once I broke up and called it quits, I cut the phone off. And I asked him if I could have the phone back just to turn it back into Sprint and I could just cancel out that line. Mm-hmm. And then...
So he never gave you the phone back, obviously?
He never gave me the phone back.
And how much is that?
I'm just asking for the remaining balance of the $450.
Okay. And the rent refund, how much are you asking for on that?
$600.
All right. And what personal property?
I had purchased a living room set and 2 twin box springs and a king bed frame because we were supposed to buy a king size bed together, but we never brought it. The furniture is in my name. I still to this day pay for this furniture. It comes out of my account every
Who has it?
I don't know where it is, but I believe Dwayne has it.
All right. And the rent refund is for what month?
April.
All right. And you moved when again? March?
March the 19th.
And you paid April's rent, your share, or did you all pay 50-50?
We would normally pay half and half, but in April I paid the whole thing.
Okay. Sir, what are you going to tell me about the cell phone, the rent, and her property?
The rent, all of March, I paid all of the bills for all of March. I paid all of our rent, all of our other stuff just because I lost my job in March. And so I had my taxes deposited into her account. So I paid all of our bills up just because I knew I wasn't gonna have a job. And so she was supposed to pay April's rent just because I paid all of the March rent so I can catch up and get another job and everything. And then the cell phone, she actually broke my other cell phone on my other plan, so she had to add me to her line on her plan. I had to pay a deposit for the phone, and then I paid monthly for the phone and with the bill. It was like $20 a month plus the cost of the bill.
How many months?
I paid for like 6 months.
And you say he paid how much?
I have
on
a
the
paper
phone
right here
itself?
saying that he only paid $175.
Let's see that. All right, and the property, sir?
The property, the last time I seen the property is when her mother and her father was taking it out on the red truck when I was going downtown.
Do you know anything about your parents removing it?
We attempt to try to take the furniture out the house, but the police stopped me and told me I had to go downtown and file a civil suit.
How far did you get it to the door, out of the door? What?
Out the door, and then I had to turn around and take it back in the house.
All right,
I never
and
took it.
Who called the police?
Me.
I actually
You called the police? Why?
I called well, I didn't call the,
You just said you did.
the second day, the first day I called the police.
What?
The very first day I called the police on
We
Easter.
both called
Why?
the police.
Because she was there destroying the stuff.
When I went back to my apartment to finish getting my
Who called the
things,
police?
I called the police because I had to have a police escort.
You all act so confused about who called the police. You called the police on yourself then.
No, I didn't call the police.
If they stop you from removing the furniture and told you you have to come and sue them to get it, that was the result.
They didn't let me take it because they
Who
said...
paid for the furniture?
We both paid for the furniture.
Both paid for the furniture.
sir.
And all right, so we don't know who has the furniture or who took the furniture. You can't prove that he took it. You have any evidence or proof or a statement? You
I
say you
feel
have
like-
text messages. Can't go by what you feel. You have to prove that he took the furniture, and you're speculating. Your March rent, did he pay all the rent in March?
We split it 50-50.
Okay. Who has evidence of the payment in
I got
March?
text messages saying that I proved that I paid all of the rent for March.
You have a text message that says you paid all the rent in March.
Yes, sir.
What is your text message regarding, ma'am?
Him signing me off the lease for April if I paid the rent
If you paid the rent in...
for April.
Yeah, because he said he paid it all in March. And you say, don't go there. You already know what's up. I paid all that SH last money on my life. You ain't have enough of, I gave extra spending money and paid what you was slacking. You got me up. If you're going to try and play me on this, I spent $350 on food and random. You ain't came out of a dime out of your pocket. This is you. Pat yourself on the back. You're doing your job as a man, being a provider. This indicates that he did pay. Ma'am? Now you're giving me a little Lying smile. Yeah, I can't believe anything you say. Your testimony isn't making sense, and now I have it here in writing, where you claim he didn't pay, and here you are telling him to pat himself on the back for paying. You're the man. You're supposed to. That's what you told him. Your counterclaim for $2,500 for the assault. Tell me about that.
On Easter,
That's what you're referring to?
Yes,
when
sir.
you came there and she was breaking up the things and then she attacked you?
Yes, sir.
Because you were mad because you had a woman there in her house?
Yes, sir.
Describe it again.
As I was visiting with my daughter, my cousin called me. As I got to the place, like I started asking, like, what is she doing? Why is she there? She just started hitting me, punching me, scratching me. She started trying to spit on me.
Dwayne, why are you lying? Because I walked outside, and you know I walked outside. You were standing at my car because my dirty clothes were all over the front yard. So did you come to the door? Or did you come to
They
the car?
called EMS, and EMS came, and then
Anybody have any evidence on the assault?
Yes, sir. I got a couple pictures of like all the scratches and stuff she did to me. I got an EMS report also.
You scratched him, man?
I didn't scratch Dwayne.
You didn't? A lot of scratches here.
They still on me too, sir.
A lot of
Are those
scratches.
old scratches or are those new scratches, Dwayne?
A lot of scratches. EMS report. Medic on the scene finds that plaintiff being walked out to the medic by CPD. Plaintiff advised that he was assaulted, and during that fight, some glass broke and he received some minor cuts to his left lower arm. Crew cleaned the injury and advised him on the wound. Yeah, filed assault charges. All right. You've proven your case. Judgment for the defendant. Your claim is dismissed.
Thank you,
Have a
sir.
good day.
We're just gonna be co-parents. That's it. That's all. Lesson learned. Never again. He's a liar. He's a manipulator. Simple as that.
I just want to see my kids.